You're about to find out why thousands of Australians are buying one of these 5 popular Utes, feeling absolutely great about it for the first few months, and then getting absolutely blindsided by repair bills that nobody warned them about. And I am not talking about small stuff like a blown fuse or a flat tire. I am talking about bills that go into the thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, that dealers never mention, that salespeople gloss over, and that most buyers only find out about after the warranty has already expired. So if you are currently shopping for a Ute, already own one of these, or you're thinking about upgrading, stay right here because what you are about to hear could save you a serious amount of money. Welcome to the Drive Intel, the channel where we dig deeper than the brochure and tell you what the industry does not always want you to know. Before we get into it, if you find this kind of honest, research-backed content useful, please hit that like button right now and subscribe to the Drive Intel so you never miss a video like this. We put out content that actually helps real drivers make smarter decisions, and your support keeps this going. Now, let us get into the first Ute on our list. And this one is going to surprise a lot of people because it is one of the most popular, most loved, and most recommended Utes in all of Australia. We are talking about the Ford Ranger. Now, before anyone gets defensive, let me be very clear. The Ranger is a genuinely great Ute in many ways. It is capable, comfortable, well-equipped, and it has a strong community of loyal owners. But here's where things get complicated. The Ranger, particularly models from around 2019 onwards that are fitted with the 2.0-liter bi-turbo engine, has developed a reputation for a very specific and very expensive problem, and that is the EGR cooler and EGR valve failures. The exhaust gas recirculation system on these engines has been known to crack, clog, and fail, sometimes leading to coolant leaking into the intake system in worst-case scenarios, causing hydrolock, which means water getting into the combustion chamber and bending the engine internals. A full engine replacement or rebuild on a Ranger can cost anywhere from $8,000 to over $15,000 depending on the extent of the damage. And because many of these failures happen just outside the warranty window, owners are left to foot the entire bill themselves. Add to that the DPF or diesel particulate filter, which frequently blocks on Ranger engines that are used mainly for city driving or short trips, and you are looking at regeneration issues, warning lights, and DPF replacements that can cost between $1,500 and $4,000. The dealers will often tell you to just drive it on the highway to clean it out, but if you bought a Ute for daily urban driving, that advice is not always practical or helpful. Moving right along, let us talk about the Toyota HiLux. Now this one is going to feel even more controversial because the HiLux has an almost legendary reputation for reliability. And honestly, for older models, that reputation is well earned. But the modern HiLux, particularly the 2.8-liter GD series diesel engine that has been in production since 2015, has had some very serious and very well-documented problems. The most significant one is the timing chain stretch issue. On these engines, the timing chain, which is responsible for keeping the engine's valves and pistons working in perfect sync, can stretch prematurely. When it does, it can cause the engine to run rough, trigger warning lights, and in severe cases, cause catastrophic engine failure. Toyota actually issued a revised timing chain kit as an updated part, but many owners only find out about this after the damage has already been done. The repair itself, including parts and labor, can run between $3,000 and $6,000, and that is if the engine has not already been damaged beyond basic repair. On top of that, the HiLux GD engine has also been linked to excessive oil consumption, cracked pistons, and head gasket concerns in certain builds. Now, Toyota has addressed some of these issues through dealer service updates, but the critical thing to understand is that if your HiLux is outside of the warranty period and these problems surface, you are dealing with the full cost on your own. And for a Ute that many buyers purchase specifically because they believe it will never let them down, this can feel like a genuine betrayal. Here at the Drive Intel, we always say that a vehicle's reputation is built on decades of history, but your repair bill is based on the specific model year sitting in your driveway. And that distinction matters enormously. The third Ute on this list is the Mitsubishi Triton, and this one tends to fly under the radar in terms of public discussion, which is exactly why we needed to include it. The Triton has always been positioned as a more affordable alternative to the Ranger and the HiLux, and that pricing does attract a lot of buyers who are budget conscious. But here's the issue. That budget-friendly purchase price can sometimes mask some pretty costly ownership experiences down the track. The Triton, particularly in the MQ and MR series, has had reported issues with its automatic transmission, including hesitation during gear changes, rough shifting, and in some cases, complete transmission failure. A transmission rebuild or replacement on a Triton can easily set you back between $4,000 and $9,000. There have also been documented cases of the rear differential making excessive noise and eventually failing, particularly in vehicles that are used for towing or light off-road work, which is literally what most people buy a Ute to do. The differential repair costs typically sit between $2,000 and $5,000. What makes the Triton situation even more frustrating for owners is that Mitsubishi's dealer network in Australia, while present, is not as extensive as Toyota's or Ford's, which means wait times for parts and service appointments can be significantly longer. That means more time without your vehicle and more disruption to your work or lifestyle. Now we are getting into the second half of the list, and the next Ute is one that has been making a lot of waves in Australia recently. We are talking about the Isuzu D-Max. Now the D-Max is a serious contender in the Ute market. It is well built, practical, and has a strong towing capacity. For a lot of buyers, it ticks every box. But there is a specific issue that has been affecting the newer generation D-Max, particularly the third generation models that launched in 2021, and it involves the engine management system and the AdBlue or DF injection system. Some owners have reported situations where fault codes in the engine management system have rendered the vehicle unable to start or limited it to what is called a reduced power or limp mode. This can happen with very little warning, and it can strand you in situations that are genuinely dangerous, particularly if you're working in a remote area. Diagnosing these issues often requires dealer-level scan tools, which means every time there's a fault, you are paying for a dealer visit just to get a diagnosis before they even start fixing anything. Diagnostic costs alone can run between $200 and $500 per visit. And if the DEF injector itself needs replacing, you're looking at parts and labor costs that can push past $2,000. There has also been some community reporting around turbocharger issues on the 1.9-liter engine variant, with some owners experiencing reduced boost pressure and turbo-related faults, requiring attention well before they expected any major service expenses. And the fifth Ute on our list today is the Volkswagen Amarok. And honestly, this one deserves a very thorough conversation because it is a vehicle that attracts buyers who want something a little more premium, a little more European, and a lot more refined than the average Ute. And in many ways, the Amarok delivers exactly that. It is smooth, it is powerful, especially in the V6 TDI variants, and it feels genuinely upmarket. But premium engineering also means premium repair costs, and the Amarok is a perfect example of this reality. The timing belt on the Amarok's TDI engines is a major cost item. Unlike many other Utes that use timing chains, which in theory can last the life of the engine, the Amarok uses a timing belt that needs to be replaced at scheduled intervals. If that belt fails, and it does fail on some vehicles, before the recommended service interval, it can cause the engine to suffer what is called catastrophic interference damage, meaning the pistons hit the valves and the entire engine can be destroyed. A timing belt replacement as a preventive service on the Amarok typically costs between $1,200 and $2,000, but if the belt actually breaks and the engine suffers damage, you could be looking at an engine rebuild that starts at $10,000 and can go significantly higher. Beyond the timing belt, the Amarok's DSG dual-clutch transmission, while smooth and fast shifting in normal conditions, has had documented issues with shuddering, hesitation at low speeds, and, in some cases, mechatronic unit failures. The mechatronic unit is essentially the brain of the DSG gearbox, and replacing it is not cheap. Parts and labor for a mechatronic replacement can sit anywhere between $3,000 and $6,000. And because the Amarok is a Volkswagen product, and VW parts in Australia carry a significant price premium compared to Japanese UT brands, even routine servicing at a VW dealer can be noticeably more expensive. Some owners report annual service costs that are 2 to 3 times what they would pay for a comparable Toyota or Mitsubishi service. So what is the lesson running through all 5 of these Utes? It is not that these are bad vehicles. It genuinely is not. Most of them are well-engineered, capable machines that millions of people drive successfully every single day. The real lesson is that every vehicle has a profile of known weaknesses, and the automotive industry does not exactly advertise those weaknesses on a big poster in the showroom. The salesperson's job is to sell you the vehicle, not to walk you through the documented failure patterns that owners have reported on forums and in court filings. That is what the Drive Intel is here for. We research so that you can make decisions with your eyes fully open. If you are buying any of these Utes, or honestly any used Ute in Australia right now, there are a few things that could genuinely protect you. First, always get a pre-purchase inspection from a mechanic who specializes in that specific brand. Not a general mechanic, a specialist. Second, research the specific model year and engine combination you are buying, because as we have shown today, the problems are often tied to specific builds, not the entire nameplate. Third, check for any outstanding recalls or technical service bulletins on the vehicle's VIN before you hand over any money. This is free to do through the government's Product Safety Australia website. And fourth, factor in the extended warranty or mechanical breakdown insurance costs into your total budget. Because if one of these known failure points occurs just after your standard warranty expires, having that extra coverage could be the difference between a manageable situation and a financial crisis. We really hope this video has been genuinely useful to you today. This is exactly the kind of research-heavy, honest content that the Drive Intel was built to deliver. If you know someone who is currently in the market for a Ute, or someone who already owns one of these 5 models and might not be aware of these risks, please share this video with them right now. It takes about 3 seconds, and it could genuinely save them thousands of dollars. Drop a comment below and let us know which Ute you drive or which one you are considering, and tell us if you have personally experienced any of these issues. We rate every single comment, and we actually use your feedback to decide what we research next. So your input directly shapes this channel. If you are not subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video from the Drive Intel. We are constantly digging into the vehicles, the trends, and the industry stories that actually matter to Australian drivers and beyond. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. We will see you in the next one.